On Thursday, Congressman Louie Gohmert took to the House floor to decry California's proposed ban on gas-powered automobiles by 2035. Gohmert assailed left-wing green initiatives, stating that they punish average Americans and lead to immoral business practices, like child lithium mining abroad. Opposition to Democratic pushes to move away from fossil fuels has grown substantially in Republican ranks, as Democrats make action on climate change central to their goals. The Inflation Reduction Act, in particular, signaled a shift towards putting the environment front and center in all left-wing legislation and received 0 Republican votes. Gohmert, a Texas lawmaker who is serving out his final term in Congress after losing a bid for state attorney general, is a longtime nemesis of the left's green agenda.
I want to address some energy issues. This article from NPR, August 25th, reports that California is poised to set a 2035 deadline for all new cars, trucks, and SUVs sold in the state to be powered by electricity or hydrogen, an ambitious step that will reshape the U.S. car market by speeding the transition to more climate-friendly vehicles. And it's a long article, but it does not deal with reality that we're already seeing take place. As this administration and people in some states are demanding to get rid of all fossil fuel immediately, quickly, China will continue to open hundreds of coal-powered plants. And unfortunately, China doesn't utilize the scrubbers and things that allow American coal plants to have much more cleaner operation in producing electricity. And in fact, I've heard experts say, people with whom we've consulted, there will be so much pollution coming from China that even if the U.S. totally eliminated every single coal plant, the air would not be improved because of all of the pollution that will be coming our way from China. And as my good friend, I think Thomas Massey has more patents than anybody in the House or Senate, but Thomas Massey has pointed out, even though he got an MIT education, he's a brilliant guy, and he's pointed out that actually plugging in one electric vehicle is about the equivalent of plugging in 17 refrigerators. And this administration wants everybody to start buying electric vehicles so everybody has electric vehicles, and the sooner the better. But the fact is, if even half of the cars that run on fossil fuel now were replaced immediately with electric vehicles, well, first of all, we'd end up causing, no telling how many children around the world to be used as slave labor, more than are being used right now, in order to gather the lithium, mine the lithium and the things that are needed to produce electric cars. And we won't even bother to talk about right now the massive problem in dealing with that many batteries, with all that lithium, and what will be done with all of that. We don't know. We're just going headlong into trying to have all electric vehicles. You can't make an electric vehicle right now, not one that's any good, unless you use fossil fuel. And you got to have natural gas as feedstock to make so many of the products that are used in the vehicles. I guess you could do like Fred Flintstone and have one made out of stone and wood. But why would this administration want to take us back to the Stone Age? It seems some of these policies are determined to do that. In fact, here's an article from the Epoch Times. States to ban gas-powered cars despite electric vehicles' human and environmental cost. It's written by Katie Spence, September 12th, and she points out to some of these hidden costs that I've been alluding to. She says, according to the politicians like Newsom and President Joe Biden, electric vehicles, or EVs, are zero emission because they use lithium-ion batteries consisting of lithium, cobalt, graphite, and other materials instead of gas. Thus, starting in 2035, California will ban gas-powered vehicle sales, while several other states plan to follow suit, citing that as a goal and, quote, critical milestone in our climate fight, unquote. Additionally, according to a statement from President Biden, banning gas-powered vehicles will save consumers money, cut pollution, boost public health, advance environmental justice, and tackle the climate crisis. John Hatter, director of the Great Basin Resource Watch, disagrees, pointing out to the Epoch Times that industrial nations might benefit from the transition to electric vehicles, but it's at the expense of all others. This expansion of lithium mining will have immediate consequences for frontline communities that are taking the hit. For example, Copiapo, the capital of Chile's Atacama region, is the location of one of the world's largest known lithium reserves. We used to have a river before. This is in quotes. We used to have a river before that now don't exist. There isn't a drop of water. Elena Rivera Cardosa, president of the indigenous Cola community in the capital commune, told the National Resources Defense Council. She added that all of Chile's water is disappearing because of the local lithium mine. Quote, in all of Chile, there are rivers and lakes that have disappeared, all because a company has a lot more right to water than we do as human beings or citizens of Chile. In collaboration with Cardoso's statement, the Institute for Energy Research reports that 65% of the area's very limited water sources are consumed by mining activities. That's displacing indigenous communities who have called the Atacama home for more than 6,000 years, because farmers and ranchers have cracked, dry soil and no choice but to abandon their ancestral settlements, according to the UN Conference on Trade and Development. Now, that's so interesting, but where's the compassion? We are so determined to have electric vehicles so that we can say to the world, we're cleaning up the world, when we're not cleaning up the world. We're making the world a disastrous place so that liberals here, woke in America, can think that all is right with the world when actually they've put children into slave labor by creating this market, causing countries to dry up like Chile. It is rather tragic, and people that mean well and think they're doing great need to understand the damage they're doing to the planet and to people that don't live in Martha's Vineyard.